this is sort of a test run. So, David Davidson, I have been laying in the hospital since June 9th. I came in with a severely inflamed right shoulder, which turned out to be full of blood poisoning pus, if you will. And when they were doing my shoulder, they evacuated about 10 milligrams of poison in the syringe. While they were doing it, the lady running the ultrasound observed that my tissue had a tremendous amount of just non-concentrated poisons, and they elected to go ahead and fillet and scrape my shoulder and relieve it of the excessive amount of blood poisons. I was in Banner Hospital on 59th Avenue in Thunderbird in Phoenix, Arizona. And this, although it's dark, just because of the primary thing, I just want to say this hospital, I've never been in a facility that was more caring, more intelligent, more precise. Even the doctors had a compassion in their hearts that I've never seen out of any person or any institution in my life. I dreamed that really where I was is in a place where every angels were flying around and attending to people with different needs, me being one of them. The kindness of all the races in this hospital. I mean, I had black people take care of me. I had white people take care of me. I had Mexican people take care of me. I had a lady from Algeria take care of me. I had a lady from, one of the doctors was from, who knows, maybe Afghanistan. I had a gentleman that's from the Philippines, a doctor, and not one of them had one varying amount of lack of compassion for me and my pain. Their diagnosis was almost just a win, a hit every time, man. After they looked at what my situations were, they were able to determine a course of action, not within days, not within hours, after they accumulated the information that they needed. They were precise and quick to make a decision and be aggressive on that action. From the time that they observed my shoulder was red and full of pus, it was like an hour between the time that they decided to remove the poisons with an aspiration to when they saw how bad it was. I had surgery the next morning, which immediately relieved so much pain. So, turns out that after the blood cultures, and like, man, I must have had over 100 different blood draws. In a 48-hour period, they ran out of spots to draw blood from me. They were culturing this, culturing that, culturing this, and trying to find out exactly what it was that was causing me so many problems. I mean, and the girls doing the needles, I mean, they were all just polite as heck. Just some of them were so skilled, I wasn't even aware whenever they put the needles in for the blood draw. Well, the next morning, in the morning, they worked all night and determined that I had contracted blood poisoning, which is actually sepsis of the blood. Blood poisoning is a misnomer, and that I had 10 or 9 different types of blood poisoning. They started pounding me with every other antibiotic known to man, I guess, in order to keep that under control. One of which is so aggressive that even today, which is July 20th, that I am still under drip 3 or 4 times a day. in order to make sure that blood sepsis is completely eradicated from my system. So I got better, and I started moving around and was walking back and forth. And they said, "Well, Dave, you know what? We think we've done all we can do here. We're going to go ahead and transfer you out to an assisted living facility." Which I went, of course. What else am I going to do? And I got over there, and just they started giving me my antibiotics. And by the second day, I started feeling pain in my lower back. By the fourth day, I was really just in so much pain. Finally, I got an ambulance over there to help me figure out what was wrong. I just wanted to go back to the hospital. Quit. The nursing home wasn't really too hip on that because they wanted their doctor to look at me, but he was so overloaded because of coronavirus. I guess he couldn't get to me in time. So I got back over to Banner Thunderbird. They did a CAT scan, and then they did an MRI. So this MRI, man, just absolutely defined a space on lumbar 2 and 3. Then I had a 1/2 inch by 4 inch wide by 1/2 inch thickness of abscess present against my spine, keeping me from walking. That was, I had my MRI at like 6 o'clock in the morning. By 10, they had determined what the situation was. The doctor came up and said, "Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and do spinal surgery upon you. Here's how we're going to perform it." And I was so amazed at the technology that they were going to use in order to perform the spinal surgery that, in fact, by 10:30. Now this is they discovered my abscess at like 9:30 or 10. I already made a decision to do by 10:30. By 11:30, I was underneath the anesthetics and underneath the knife, and they went in and did a small incision to access my spinal bone, L2 or L3, I don't know which. They drilled a hole in the spine all the way right up to the top, whatever, of the sac, which was enclosing and built itself around the abscess. Then they sucked that poison out, washed it out, put me back together, glued me together, and out I come out of the anesthetic cloud back down to earth. After the time they did that, I had never experienced the amount of pain that I was in as compared to before. And so at that point, they have been pounding me with, again, a whole variety of antibiotic medicines, again taking blood tests every 2 or 3 hours to make sure that the antibiotics that they chosen was actually interfering with the growth and the spread of the blood sepsis, the blood poisoning. Again, poison is not exactly a correct term. So now, whenever the onset of this back problem, I could not walk. I've not walked for over, since about the 4th of this month, have I not been able to walk on my own. Again, they transferred me back to the Banner Health Facility. And again, even though I was on a different floor, you'd have never known, because these angels that were taking care of me were just absolutely the most compassionate, caring, and understanding of my pain, and just willing to help just beyond belief. I mean, the information on the media about how people not caring for each other is so wrong. If you walk into these hospitals, the pressure that these guys are under almost makes me cry, because they're frantically trying to save people's lives. So in any case, this is just a dry run. There's no light. I hope I didn't wake my roommate up, but it just came upon my heart to do this YouTube video to make sure that people were aware of the quality and the compassion that you can find at Banner Thunderbird, the preciseness, the technology that we have and that they have in the medical field surpasses the dreams of the writers of Star Trek. I mean, the guy says, well, here, let me show you this abscess. I said, I can't read that. He said, absolutely you can. And he showed it to me. And in fact, I was able to. So it looks like my video is going in at 10:45, so I'll go ahead and close out for now. But I'll tell you, man, thank God for Banner Health and all the pretty angels that have helped me survive. They saved my life. And will be able to walk again.